Why is it that the most interesting women that you know all say, man, I really can't stand hanging out with other women? Why? Why do you hear that from woman after woman after woman? What's broken? One of the things we can't do if we're going to explore healing and growth in our communities, if we're going to explore historical femininity, we can't ignore elephants in the room. And this is an elephant in the room, as a lot of women don't like how other women do life, do not even just life, but do groups, do friendship. Believe me, and I'm using those air quotes for a reason, guys. We don't like that. We don't like hanging out with other women. So that's a big fat brick in the road between where we are, the broken place that we are in, and the whole place that we would like to be. So let's talk about why don't women like other women, and what is this whole thing about? First of all, what am I talking about? Let's be clear. When women say, I don't like hanging out with other women, what women are talking about is the implicit ways that women try to get power and influence, and how women work implicitly within groups to establish dominance and establish rules within those groups, and establish group participation, and loyalty, the loyalty proofs within the group. So that all sounds very, very social science, and it is. But what I'm talking about more prosaically is, well, if you want to sit at our table, we wear pink on Wednesdays. That thing. And, if it was straight up that thing, maybe it would be annoying and you would say, hey, I don't want to sit with you if I have to do this thing that I don't want to do. Okay. But women tend to make those rules implicit rather than explicit. So, as a woman trying to exist in women's society, you have to observe, you have to extrapolate, and then you have to mimic. And some of us are really, really good at that and do it boom, boom, boom. Some of us aren't. Some of us have, like blockades where, like, oh yeah, we see what you're doing, but we don't want to do that because we really don't like what you're doing. We don't accept that rule. And so there's stuff. So I'm describing something that is broken. I am not describing something that is good that I want to emulate. I want to say, okay, so this is what we do right now. This is what women do. So why do we do it? What's the survival here? What's the history here? Okay, so the history here is that women's groups tend to be very much more long running than men's group. Yes, there's the old boys club, right? And that's its own problem. I'm not a boy. We're not going to talk about the old boys club. So men do have that thing, but it affects much less of their lives than women's groups, women's dominance levels affect our lives, and particularly our social lives, which have been more important to women than women's professional lives. So men will very often have groups pursuing a purpose for a limited amount of time, or yeah, and it's a job. So we're all going to chase down the mammoth. Bobby, bring the spears. Georgia, bring the arrows. We're going to show up at this time, be dressed to kill, and we expect you to be serious. We expect you to be on game. We expect you to be able to chase that mammoth. These are the expectations. They're very, very clear. Everybody knows what they are, and you also know that you will get social points for performing well, for being brave in the face of danger, for being particularly skilled. The ways that you get social credit, the ways that you get social demerits. The ways that you are expected to participate and contribute and show loyalty are very, very clear, and they're also limited in scope. So that's how men tend to do things, and I'm, of course, exaggerating with hunting down a mastodon. But, you know, you can talk about military, you can talk about how they do things in their jobs. Um, Most men's work tends to be very direct. Not all men's work, some softer work like sales and marketing can tend to have more of the women's way of doing things and way of establishing dominance and stuff. They do things differently, but they just have a different mindset. Now, men have intrinsic power and dominance, things that they have. They have size, strength. Humans, men and women, we all have wealth display. Women tend to display our intrinsic dominance in beauty and then, of course, in wealth. So, wealth displays and beauty are how we display dominance. This is all part of being in a social thing. I'm not too thrilled with dominance displays. They have some function, but mostly I kind of think of that as humans got a human. It's certainly not something that I would, in my ideal society, put forth as, and we all want to do this, because there's really winners and losers in that. And it's going to happen anyway. So let's just leave that, okay? So, returning, women. What do women do? Well, women make up intrinsic rules. So, okay, you can't sit at my table if you don't wear pink on Wednesdays. Do we normally tell the new girl that she has to wear pink on Wednesdays to sit at our table? No, we do not. No, we don't. We have to pick it up. So the new girl comes kind of, well, you know, I don't really like that sweater. And that's even being nice. I mean, there's a lot of messing around. So what does being in the group benefit? Well, the group, of course, it's in that particular circle at that particular time. There's a task, like you could be on the prom committee or something like that, or the PTA, where theoretically you have a specific job to accomplish in a specific time. But in reality, your previous investment in these implicit group loyalty activities and the implicit dominance hierarchies is going to actually determine whether or not you're listened to when you show up to the PTA meeting, when you show up to the prom committee, because you have had to previously establish that you are loyal to the community, you're loyal to this group, you will follow the rules, you will participate. Why? So therefore, and you're just losing a ton of women. And I'm talking about myself because, I remember going to the prom committee and saying, hey, why are we doing this? And everybody's like, we know who you are. But we don't get, they basically said, get out. We don't want you here. I'm like, okay, well, bye then. Because me, like a lot of women, we just don't want to put up with that. I don't like that. Most of my female friends don't like that. So then we go hang out with guys. What are we missing? What's going on? What is the survival value in this behavior? Well, one of the things that women do is women set community standards. So we say, this is how we raise our kids. This is how we keep our houses. This is how we dress. This is the level of ornamentation we expect. This is what's okay. This is what's not okay. Again, there's a lot of us that are not okay with how all pervasive that can be in our lives. But there is function to this. So as we show this loyalty, we are looking for that loyalty to come up through generations, through time. So women are saying, are you going to be part of our team for the long haul? Or are you just showing up for a minute? Are you here, you know, are you here to take? Are you here to give? Are you going to be part of us or not? Because I think there's some understanding that women really have more viscerally that we have to work together to accomplish what we need to accomplish. That is a win. That is a positive that we have that gift. We're also incredible managers, especially after you've had a kid or two. I mean, you learn to manage or you have problems. Um, you got to manage this, you got to manage that, you got to keep tabs on all these things. Together, women can accomplish a tremendous amount, but we can't do it if we're not on the same page, because the ways in which we use to accomplish things tend to be the implicit things, the soft ways of convincing, the soft persuasions, okay, we're all wearing white to, demonstrate, that we believe in being suffragettes. We're all going to do this. We're all going to do that. So we really have, when we need to do something, we work as a team. Okay, we have somebody in our community that just had a baby. We don't want to throw it obviously your family's going to come alongside. First and foremost, their inner circle. But outer circle, we want to be able to portion out. Okay, you're bringing dinners on Mondays, you're bringing dinners on Tuesdays, you're bringing dinners on Fridays. Okay, you got the other kids, you're going to babysit them a couple days a week, just take a little extra on that. And then we all group load. So we make this network and we group load. So, and when we do that, if you are already part of the group and you know what the group expectation is, then you have more trust that the group will do things the way they ought to be done with the standards, because part of our job is to get those standards across to the next generation. And if we're all on the same page, if we're all in the same place, we can do that. So it has a function, but it's broken. So like so much that is broken where we find ourselves, or even in the more recent past. I'm thinking the 50s, the quintessential time. The 50s were actually really broken for reasons. If you look at the history of the 20th century, you will see why the 50s, we, on the surface, people that actually learn any history don't idolize the 50s, but people that don't think of the 50s as this quintessential traddy time, and it wasn't. It was a reaction to a lot of trauma that went in the 30 to 40 years before the 50s, trauma after trauma after trauma. The 50s were a reaction. So they're not someplace we can look back, we're just going to look at the 50s and we're just going to do what we did then. We're not going to look just at this time period. When we're looking at history to trying to mine, where is the health? Where is the not broken thing? We have to look wide, we have to look deep, we have to look in a lot of places and cross-reference, okay? So we don't want to just be like, we're going to just go back here. Whenever I'm saying historical femininity, I know a lot of people instantly think, okay, I'm talking pearls and heels. I am not opposed to pearls or heels, but that's not what I'm talking about, okay? So, again, what are these functions? Why? Why are the women working together? The women are working together to accomplish things that women need to do. In the absence of men, women teamed up to do the physical things that men could do by themselves. One adult man is stronger than one adult woman physically. If both of them have lived an active, kind of physically demanding life, they're just stronger. Get over it. I power lift. I go to the gym. This is again not pearls and heels. That's reality. Okay, guys, it's just reality. So if I gotta move that cow and my husband's at war, what am I gonna do? I can't do it by myself. I better be able to call my best girl and maybe her best girl. And we're gonna figure it out. I also have to have authority in my community, so maybe I need to be the one that says we don't wear pink on Tuesdays, dear. Why? Why would I make that stupid rule? Well, I'm making that stupid rule so I have the authority, so it gives me like some establishment in the community where, like, oh, well, maybe I need, your 12-year-old boy that is abnormally large, and his butt can come help me with the cow. And because you respect my position, you're gonna, it, anytime you have power, what's the power for? It's for influence, it's for getting things done, getting your platform done. What is this community loyalty for? Community loyalty is so that you will come and help me. If I'm an outsider, you're not as likely to help me. If we're all here together, then we work together. And that's one of the problems of our society having so much fluidity as far as moving in and out, is that we don't have time to establish loyalty through real action over the course of years. Like Betty wears pink whenever Betty wants to wear pink, but you know what? Betty is first to show up with the casserole when somebody gets sick. So I don't doubt Betty's loyalty. I know, because I've known her for 20 years, and I know. She doesn't dress like us, but whatever. But even then, you hear it when I say us versus her. So it makes a grouping. And that is not a good thing. That is biblically a shibboleth. There's an artificial way to portion people out. That, I think, is something we're going to have to look at. If we're going to heal, if we're going to quit using flamingos for croquet mallets and find some croquet mallets, we're going to have to say, okay, it is a natural human thing to want to make us versus them and to do this like little intrinsic thing. But we are choosing not to do that. We're going to make different values. We're going to make different ways of being. Okay, so women, yeah, we're amazing at networking. We are going to have to keep reminding ourselves that bringing in new people is valuable, that bringing in new experiences are valuable, that the way to show loyalty isn't whether or not you wear a pink sweater and the right color of lipstick. The way they show loyalty is actual performance under fire. And we need to take that from the guys and learn it and bring it forward to our own communities. Because if we do that and base group membership and group respect within the membership group status based on more extrinsic things, more actual performance, that's actually more survival. That's more really historic. Because you know what? If we're really not playing, if there's a monster at the door, I don't care whether you're wearing pink or not. I care whether you're going to have my kid. If you've got extra room and you can strap my kid to your back. That's all I care about. So, don't wear pink on Wednesdays or do wear pink on Wednesdays or whatever. We can say that's broken, but it's broken because we're trying to establish loyalty. Let's figure out how to establish loyalty among women and all the things that go with that, like the ways that we show that we're not threatening to your position in the community. I'm not going to go take your man. I'm not going to go after your kids. I'm not going to, try to take your wealth. I'm not going to try to, mess with your life. All the things that we indicate without words that are never indicated in words. We have to figure out how to show that loyalty directly. And especially as we are integrating people from different cultural expectations, and I don't mean color of skin, I mean different cultural expectations from rich to poor, from Western to Southern to Eastern to maybe we are talking about coming from another culture, like another country, you know, Germans versus Irish. I mean, this has all happened in history. We know where the bump ups are as we go forward and say, no, we do need community. We do need each other. If we're going to get healthy, you got to say, and if we're going to get a community that really works, if we're going to make people want to be part of our community and not just say, peace out, babes. I'm going to go off be alone because I would rather be alone than be with you people. If we don't want that, then we have to make community a place that lets people in. We have to make our rules clear, make them extrinsic, make the ways to have better participation in our communities something that people can understand, something people can reach. You know, we do not want the broken thing of keeping up with the Joneses, and if you don't have a new Mercedes, then you can't be my friend. We don't want that. That's broken. It's ugly. We don't want it. We need each other. Women, we need each other. I have value to bring to you. You have value to bring to me. I need to hear your heart. I need to hear your story. I need you to help me with my kids. I need to help you with your kids. I need to know what your recipe for flautas are. I need to know how you get that stain out. I need to know how you write a great prospectus. I need to know what's in your head. You need to know what's in my head. I need your skills. You need my skills. We need to have each other's backs. The world is not getting any prettier, guys. Watch the news. Oh, I need you. You need me. Oh my goodness. The stuff I have read, we need each other. We need each other on so many levels. We must heal. Yes, I understand. Oh my gosh, I understand. I don't like hanging out with women because I understand that. I've never said that because I have too many wonderful female friends. But so many of my wonderful female friends have said it to me. But we don't mean you. Well, you don't mean me because I don't do that. Guys, women are gifted at making those networks. We're the bomb.com at that. We're tripping ourselves up and getting in our own ways. And it's gotta be done. It's gotta be over. Sespin. Okay? No more flamingos. Let's go find croquet mallets together. I want to hear what you have to say. You're going to think of something that I don't think of. I'm going to think of this and that and this other thing. And you're going to come back and you're going to say, how about this thing? How about that thing? And hey, your thing that you're thinking of, I have an objection to that. And then I'm going to have to think about, oh, well, we have to deal with that. Please talk to me. Please have a conversation with me. I need to hear you. Look, it's all solvable. We can get community back. We can have a healthy society. We can. We can. It is absolutely doable, but it's not doable if we're going to do things the way they've been done. It's time to change. Trying to learn from the past to make the future a better place. Hasta la bye-bye. Let's hope this uploads to YouTube. And sorry about the uneven paint edge that I'm staring at in the background. Bye.